So today we will see the system of linear equation method for solving 3 by 3 or 3 times 3 system that it's called the Cramer method. In this one, we will need an augmented matrix. An augmented matrix, it's going to be something like will be repeated. That means it will repeat the first two rows of the original system. We don't need to know very much about the matrix and stuff. We only need to know like the basic stuff. The basic stuff is that the system of a 3 times 3 system is going to be x1 plus y1 plus c1 equals a value. Remember, this is the correct order. The second equation will be almost the same. X first, then y, then c equals a value. And the last one, x plus y plus c equals a value. If we don't have a specific variable, the value of that specific one is going to be 0. The determinants will be composed only by coefficients. Remember, coefficients are the numbers in the specific variables, or the constants that multiply the specific variables. In order to obtain the determinant, it's going to be a cross multiplication. That's why we need an augmented matrix. We repeat the first two rows. We will see this one, the determinant of the whole system, and we will see the determinant of x. If we saw the formula, it's super complicated, but we don't need like to remember it by mind. It's going to be easy to do it without the formula, because it's going to be, we will use the multiplications of the terms that we can make a line of 3. In this case, the first one is x1, y2, and c3. The next one is going to be x2, y3, and c1. And the last one is going to be x3 that multiplies y1 that multiplies c2. That lines that end on the right are going to be positive. The ones that are going to be negative ones are going to be the ones that end on the left. That means this multiplication, c1, y2, x3, that it's here, x3, y2, c1. The one that it's c2, y3, and x1, c2, y3, and x1, that it's this one. And finally, c3, y1, x2, c3, y1, x2. So it's going to be very easy after doing some examples. It's only a cross multiplication. The ones that end on the right are going to be positives. The one that ends on the left, it's going to be the negative part in order to obtain the determinant of this system. In the case of obtaining the determinants of the letters x, y, and c, it's going to be almost the same, but instead of writing the values of the coefficients of x, we will write the values after the equal sign. That means instead of putting x1, I will put the value of a. Instead of putting x2, the value of b. Instead of putting x3, the value of c. That's why the first column of this one, it's represented for a, b, c, a, and b. And the multiplication is going to be the same. These three, a, y2, c3. These three, b, y3, c1. And these three, c, y1, c2. And in the case, the ones that are going to be negatives are c1, y2, c. The other one is going to be c2, y3, a. And finally, it's going to be c3, y1, b, that is this one. How to obtain the value of x after obtaining the whole determinant and the determinant of x? It's going to be very simple. We only need to divide the determinant of x and the determinant of the whole system, and that's how we obtain the value of x. It says here, do the same with the other variables. That means if we want to obtain the value of y, instead of moving the values of x to the equal or to the values of the coefficients after the equal sign, we will change the values of y, and it will be very similar. If we want to know the values of the determinant of c, instead of these a, b, c, a, b going to be here, are going to be here, and we will do the same cross multiplication. So let's see examples of how to do the Cramer method in a 3 by 3 system. So on this system, of course, we need to have our equations ordered. So our first equation is going to be 3x minus 3 plus c equals 2y. So the correctly ordered is going to be 3x minus 2y plus c equals 3. The second equation, the correct order is going to be 2x minus y equals, and it's going to be 1 plus 4. So the correct order is going to be 2x minus y equals 5. And the last one is going to be x equals 2y minus c plus 3. So it's going to be x minus 2y plus c equals 3. That will be our correctly ordered system. In this case, you can check that I left here a specific space, because that c is going to be a 0 coefficient, and we will need to use it in our augmented matrix. So let's see how to solve this exercise with the Cramer method. First, we need to obtain the determinant of the whole system. So the determinant of the whole system will be composed of 3 minus 2 and 1, the coefficients of the first equation, 2 minus 1 and 0, the coefficients of the second equation, and 1 minus 2 and 1, the coefficients of the third one. And remember, we need to enhance or get out an augmented matrix. So it's going to be 3 minus 2 and 1. I will repeat the first two rows. After that is going to be 3 that multiplies minus 1 that multiplies 1. Then it's going to be plus 2 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies 1, plus, and it's going to be 1 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies 0. All of it's going to be minus, and the other one is going to be the cross multiplication of this, 1 minus 1 and 1, 1 minus 1 and 1. The cross multiplication of 0 minus 2 and 3, so it's going to be plus 0 minus 2 and 3. And finally, it's going to be 1 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies 2, 1 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies 2. So it's going to be actually minus 3 minus 4 plus 0 minus, and the other one is going to be minus 1 plus 0 minus 4. So it's going to be minus 7 minus minus 5. It's going to be minus 7 plus 5. So it's going to be minus 2. So the determinant of the whole system is going to be minus 2. So we can write it here. The determinant of the whole system is going to be minus 2. Let's do now the determinant of x. So remember, in this case, for doing the determinant of x, instead of having the values of x, we will put the values after the equal sign. That means they will become 3, 5, 3, and I will repeat the first two, 3 and 5. And after that is going to be exactly the same for obtaining the determinant of x. We will need to do the cross multiplication. In this case, I will then write the whole multiplication. I will write the answers. It's going to be 3 times minus 1 times 1. It's going to be minus 3. Then 5 minus 2 and 1. It's going to be minus 10. And after that, it's going to be 3 minus 2 and 0. It's going to be 0. minus, and let's see the other one. It's going to be 1 multiplied by minus 1 that multiplies 3. It's going to be minus 3. Then it's going to be 0 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies 3. It's going to be 0. And finally, it's going to be 1 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies 5. It's going to be minus 10. So it's going to be minus 13 minus 13. So it's going to be minus 13 plus 13, and it's going to be 0. So the determinant of x, it's going to be 0. Let's do now the determinant of y. So for doing the determinant of y, the values of x need to become, again, the values of x that were 3, 2, and 1, 3, and 2. And what happens with the values of y? They will become the values after the equal sign. So it's going to be 3, 5, and 3, and I will repeat them, 3 and 5. So let's do the multiplication. It's going to be 3 that multiplies 5 that multiplies 1. It's going to be 15. Then it's going to be 2 that multiplies 3 that multiplies 1. It's going to be 6. Finally, 1 that multiplies 3 that multiplies 0. It's going to be 0. Minus, and in the other side, it's going to be 1 that multiplies 5 that multiplies 1. It's going to be 5. Then it's going to be 0 that multiplies 3 that multiplies 3. It's going to be 0. And finally, it's going to be 1 that multiplies 3 that multiplies 2. It's going to be 6. So this one, it's going to be 21 minus 11. So it's going to be 10. So the determinant of y, it's going to be 10. Then let's do again the determinant for z. So for the determinant of c, x will be again its values that are minus 2, minus 1, minus 2, and we will repeat minus 2 and minus 1. And what will happen with the values of c? They will become the values after the equal sign. So it's going to be 3, 5, and 3. I will repeat them, 3 and 5. So it's going to be, let's do the multiplication, and it's going to be 3 that multiplies minus 1 that multiplies 3. It's going to be minus 9. Then it's going to be 2 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies 3. It's going to be minus 12. Finally, 1 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies 5. It's going to be minus 10. Minus, and the other one, it's going to be 3 that multiplies minus 1 that multiplies 1. It's going to be minus 3. 5 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies minus 3. Plus 3. It's going to be 5 minus 2. It's minus 10 times 3. It's minus 30. And finally, it's going to be 3 that multiplies minus 2. It's minus 6. That multiplies 2. It's minus 12. So on this one, it's going to be, it's going to be minus 31 minus, and it's going to be minus 45. It's going to be minus 31 plus 45. That will mean 14. So the determinant of c, it's going to be 14. How to obtain the values of x, y, and z? It's going to be very simple. X will be the determinant of x divided by the determinant of the whole system. y will be the determinant of y divided by the determinant of the whole system, and the value of c is going to be the determinant of c divided by the determinant of the whole system. So it's going to be the determinant of x, it's going to be 0 divided by -2, 0 divided by every number, it's 0. So it's going to be x equals 0. What happens with y? It's going to be the determinant of y, that it's 10, divided by the determinant of the whole system, that it's -2. Y, it's going to be -5. What happens with the value of c? It's going to be the determinant of c, that it's 14, divided by the determinant of the whole system, that it's -2. So c is going to be -7. And in this case, we have obtained the values of x, y, and c. So the Cramer methods for solving a 3x3 system, it's a long process, but it's very mechanical, and in every exercise it's going to be exactly the same. So it's going to be not easy, but it's going to be always the same process to obtain the answer. Let's do one last exercise. So first thing we need to do, remember, we need to order our equations. So the first one is going to be 3x minus 2y plus c equals 1. The second one is already ordered, 2x minus 4y minus c equals 1. And the last one is going to be minus 5x minus 2y plus c equals -4. So we have ordered our equations, so we can do the determinant of the whole system. So the determinant of the whole system is going to be composed by 3 minus 2 and 1, 2 minus 4 and -1, minus 5 minus 2 and 1. We can continue. Remember, we need to enhance or augment the matrix. So it's going to be 3, 2, minus 2, minus 4, 1, minus 1. So remember, for obtaining the determinant, it's going to be the cross multiplication that ends on the right is going to be positive. The one that ends on the left is going to be negative. 3 multiplied by -4 multiplied by 1, going to be -12. Then it's going to be 2 that multiplies -2 that multiplies 1. It's going to be -4. Finally, -5 minus 2, it's -10 multiplied by -1. I'm sorry, minus multiplied by minus, it's plus. Multiplied by minus, it's going to be -10. Minus, and the other one is going to be 1 that multiplies -4 that multiplies -5. It's going to be +20. -1 that multiplies -2, it's +2 that multiplies 3, +6. The next one, it's going to be 1 that multiplies -2 that multiplies 2, it's going to be -4. It's going to be actually -26 minus 22. So it's going to be -26 minus 22, it's going to be -48. So the determinant of the whole system is going to be -48. Let's do now the determinant of x. Remember, for obtaining the determinant of x, what will happen with the values of x? They will become the values after the equal sign, that they are 1, 1, 4, -4, 1, and 1. So let's see the cross multiplication. It's going to be 1, -4, and 1. It's going to be -4. Then it's going to be 1 that multiplies -2 that multiplies 1. It's going to be -2. After that, it's going to be minus 4 that multiplies minus 2, it's plus 8. Multiplied by minus, it's going to be minus 8. In the other side, it's going to be 1 that multiplies minus 4 that multiplies minus 4, it's going to be positive 16. Then it's going to be minus 1 multiplied by minus 2, it's 2 positive. Then it's going to be 1 that multiplies minus 2, it's going to be minus 2. So this one is going to be minus 14 minus, and it's going to be 16. So the determinant of x, it's going to be minus 30. The determinant of x, it's going to be minus 30. So now we can change and do the determinant of y. So we will erase this part. Remember, the values of x will become again the values of x, not the values after the equal sign. So it's going to be 3, 2, 5, 3, and 2. What will happen with the values of y? They will become the values after the equal sign. So they are going to be 1, 1, minus 4, 1, and 1. So let's do the determinant. It's going to be 3 that multiplies 1 that multiplies 1. It's going to be 3. 2 that multiplies minus 4 that multiplies 1. It's going to be minus 8. 5 that multiplies 1 that multiplies minus 1. It's going to be minus 5. Minus, and the other one, it's going to be 1 that multiplies 1 that multiplies 5. It's going to be 5. Minus 1 multiplied by 4, minus 4, it's plus 4. Multiplied by 3, it's 12, positive. Finally, it's going to be 1 that multiplies 1 that multiplies 2. It's going to be plus 2. So this one, it's going to be minus 13. And 3, it's going to be minus 10, minus, and it's going to be 12, and 2, it's going to be 19. I'm sorry, here we have a problem with the signs. This one should be a minus. So let's check. 3, 1, and 1, it's 3. 2 minus 4 and 1, it's minus 8. This one is going to be minus multiplied by minus, it's going to be plus 5. The other one is going to be 1 that multiplies minus 5. It's going to be minus 5 here. Then it's going to be minus 4 minus 1. It's positive 12. 2 that multiplies 1 it's going to be 2. So this one is going to be actually 0. I'm sorry. 0 minus, and it's going to be minus 9. So the determinant of y is going to be minus 9. The determinant of y is going to be minus 9. So we need to be careful with the minus signs, because if not, you will get a mistake like me, and maybe you won't check it out before solving the actual final exercise. So now we will do the determinant of C. So for doing the determinant of C, the values of y will become again the values of y, not the values after the equal sign. Minus 2, minus 4, minus 2, minus 2, minus 4. The values of C are going to be the ones that will become the values after the equal sign. Those are going to be 1, 1, minus 4, 1, and 1. So let's do the determinant of C. It's going to be 3 that multiplies minus 4 that multiplies minus 4. It's going to be 16 multiplied by 3. 16 multiplied by 3. 48. So it's going to be 48. Then it's going to be 2 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies 1. It's going to be minus 4. Then it's going to be minus 5 multiplied by minus 2 and 1. It's going to be plus 10. Minus, and the other ones are going to be minus 4 that multiplies 5 that multiplies 1. It's going to be minus multiplied by minus. It's going to be plus 20. Then it's going to be 3 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies 1. It's going to be minus 6. Finally, it's going to be 2 that multiplies minus 2 that multiplies minus 4. Minus multiplied by minus is plus. 4 times 2 it's 8, times 2 it's 16. So on this one, it's going to be 54 minus, and it's going to be 30. So on this one, the determinant of C will have a value of 24. The determinant of C is going to be 24. So we have all the values we need. So remember, for obtaining the value of x, it's going to be the determinant of x divided by the determinant of the whole system. Y, it's going to be the determinant of y divided by the determinant of the whole system. And for C, it's going to be the determinant of C divided by the determinant of the whole system. So for x, going to be minus 30 divided by minus 48. We can simplify this one if we divide by 6, So minus multiplied by minus is going to be plus, divided by 6, it's going to be 5/8. Then with y, it's going to be the determinant of y, that it's minus 9, over the determinant of the whole system, that it's minus 48. We can divide also minus, and minus will become plus, divide by 3, and it's going to be 3/16. And in the case of C, it's going to be the determinant of C, that it's 24, divided by minus 48. The final answer will be a negative one. We can divide by 24, and it's going to be only minus 1/2. And this is going to be our actual answer for this specific 3 times 3 system. So doing the Cramer method, it's a long process, yes, but actually it's always the same. So hope you can do it with these 2 examples. See you next video.